Okay, so this is how we left off with our first ASP page. We didn't really have anything in it, but we managed to show in the browser with just the title, that is to say the top bar of the browser, having this new myfirstasp.net page appearing. Okay, but what we've got here, this is not really ASP, this is all HTML. Okay, so we have here these angle brackets. Effectively, all they do in HTML is they tell things how to appear. So, for example, in the body tag, if I just want to experiment a bit, I can say put in an H1, which means a very big header, the number one header, basically, which means it's a big font. So we say biggest font. Okay. So what we see in that page will be somebody saying biggest font. And if I put underneath it H2, I can type in second biggest font. Okay, and I've put in H3 third biggest font. If I were to do that, what you would see is gradually lowering the size of the font. H1 angle bracket, H1 close angle bracket, biggest font. Then you've got your what is called your end tag. There's your start tag H1. There's your end tag H1 with a slash at the beginning of it. Then there is your second biggest font H2 and a slash H2. Then you have H3 and you have a slash H3. Okay. These are just little instructions to the browser to display the text in that particular way. So if I now were to kind of press play, again it'll bring me this warning dialog, just say run without debugging, click OK, and then what you see now should be very shortly biggest font, second biggest font, third biggest font, as you see. Okay, so that is what HTML is essentially, just angle brackets which tell the text or tell the things in the text how to appear. However, ASP is a bit more than just that. ASP is not only just telling text how to appear, but it also could be making calculations, doing some programming, reading from a database, and then showing it up. So all of this stuff here, which is kind of static, when you use ASP, good ASP, could become dynamic, so it could appear depending on things, different things appearing. Okay, so let's go back to the tutorial, and now let's change this from being static HTML, which is what we have currently, to a more active ASP. ASP stands for Active Server Pages. So let's go back into the tutorial. Okay, so there we are. There's the text we added. Now then, what we're going to do is we're going to add this what's so-called page directive. Okay, this is a page directive, and it's going to go at the top of the page, and it's going to instruct the system that the programming language that's going to be used in evaluating what should appear on this page is VB, is Visual Basic. So if we go back into, say, into Visual Studio, let's put at the top of the page, okay, page language VB. Now, you'll see something very different now. You've seen whereas previously you've seen in all these other tags, there haven't been any percent signs. Here, you get a percent sign, and that means that is ASP, right? That is inline code. It is instructions to the server as to how it's going to render the page. Okay, I'll draw a diagram very shortly to show you what I mean by how the server kind of renders the page. But anyway, this important thing to know that when you've got these percent signs after the angle bracket or before the closing angle bracket, what you've got is some active processing taking place. Okay. Now then, let's get rid of all that sort of text we added in the main body tag. What we're going to type now is some code which will, what is called, programmatically render that text. Programmatic really means it doesn't just declare that the text should appear, but actually asks the server to process an instruction which will make the text appear. That probably sounds a little bit complex and not very helpful at this moment, but bear with me, the things will become clearer as you proceed. So let's go back to the tutorial, okay, and let's go and take some of their hello world stuff there. Now here, let's copy this, okay. Now, as you see here, it's got an H1 at the start and an H1 at the end, but in the middle, it's got the angle bracket percent, and then it's got a function, response.write hello world. So instead of just having hello world in there, it says response.write hello world, which means it forces the server to generate this rather than just us simply saying it. I can realize you might think, what on earth is the point of that? I mean, at this stage, don't worry about it. There's not too much point or logic to these things. But once we've begun to understand these language constructs, you'll see that we can do very powerful things. But for now, it's like you must imagine yourself, you're like learning the alphabet of ASP. So you just have to follow what I say and ingest it. You don't really have to worry too much about it. So let's go like start debugging. Let's press play, run without debugging, and then click OK. And then what we shall see here is hello world. Exactly, nothing very interesting, nothing very startling. But this time, instead of it just being hello world written as text, it is an instruction to the server to produce the phrase hello world in the center of the browser. Okay, so we've got these angle bracket percent response right hello world, and that means that the text hello world will appear inside that H1 area. So H1 is static, saying between me, put some big text, but then within that big text we've actually got a code instruction, response right hello world. We actually print hello world that way. Okay, so we've got this far in the practical. Let's just go back to the tutorial, and here instead of H1 we could write it using the P tag. Now the P tag means paragraph. Okay, so instead of H1, let's kind of replace H1 with the P. Oh damn, I've still got the H1, so let's get rid of the H1s. And then, so there we've got P start tag, /P end tag in the middle, response right hello world. Now if I press play, again run without debugging, click OK, and now I'll see the same text but much smaller because we've used paragraph text rather than number one heading text. Okay, so that's then hello world. Okay, so let's go back to the tutorial. Okay, and this is basically what we've actually created. So we've created this particular page. Okay, now then, as I say here, it says you can go. If you put this inside the www root directory of your web server, and you put this file there, that's what you would see. I mean, I said because I'm using VisualStudio.net, you'll notice that when I play that file, if I was to do this again, run without debugging, OK, brings up the browser, you'll notice it's got this here, localhost 50680/hello1.aspx. This is just a temporary port which Visual Studio uses. Okay, and it's if you like a development port. But if you've got Microsoft Internet Information Server on your machine, most typically you put this file, this hello1.aspx, you would put it in C inetpub www root, and you could then show it by just calling localhost /hello1.aspx. As I say, because I'm doing it inside Visual Studio, you don't have to worry too much about having your web server. But on the other hand, it's worth knowing how web servers work. So I would definitely advise you to get Internet Information Server installed on your machine and be able to put your ASPX files in that directory. Okay, so let us now go back to the thing. So at the bottom of the tutorial, you'll get a load of explanations about how all this works. Okay, definitely read that. and then um, uh, um, kind of like, as you say, try these things. Modify your ASPX file so the response write statement generates hello world within H1 and paragraph tags, so make it do it twice. Okay, and you could actually do it two ways. You could just create two script areas using the angle bracket percent angle bracket, and so do one hello world there and do it again, or you could put the whole thing inside angle bracket percent angle brackets, and see how that works. Anyway, that is basically the first tutorial of the course done.